Throughout history, women have played crucial but sometimes neglected roles in creating society's spiritual, cultural, and ethical norms. But how do women do in the three major Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam? In this video, we discover commonalities, variances, and developing views around the position of women in different religions. Women in Judaism have had a long-term impact on the religion's development. Their role is represented in the Hebrew Bible, oral law, customs, and cultural aspects. Although the Hebrew Bible and rabbinic literature provide a variety of female role models, religious law handles women in unique ways. Women are referenced in the Hebrew Bible far less than men, both by name and role. Those mentioned include the matriarchs, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, Miriam the prophetess, Rahab, who assisted Joshua, Achsah, daughter of Caleb, Deborah the judge, Naomi, Ruth, great-grandmother of King David, Huldah the prophetess, Abigail, who married David, Rahab, and Persian Jewish queen Esther. Ruth and Esther are the only women having books bearing their names. According to Jewish belief, the Israelites made a covenant with the God of Abraham at Mount Sinai. And according to the Torah, Israelite men and women were present at Sinai. Nonetheless, the covenant required males to carry out its provisions and guarantee that household members, wives, children, and slaves did as well. In this way, the covenant tied women, although indirectly. Marriage and family law in traditions granted males powers that women did not have. For example, a husband may choose to divorce a wife, but a wife cannot divorce a husband without his agreement. Now, when it comes to Christianity, women had played important roles. Christianity treats men and women equally, in mostly cases. For example, the priests ask Jesus on whether a woman may divorce a man, pointing out that Moses only mentions a writ of divorce from a male. Jesus replied, "Men and women are equal in God's sight, since God created people male and female at the beginning. A man may divorce, and so can a woman, but it is preferable to stay one flesh." Throughout the Gospels, Jesus supports women's spirituality and draws boys and girls around him to heal their diseases. In possibly his most famous defense of a woman about to be stoned for adultery, Jesus dares anybody without guilt to cast the first stone. Same as Judaism and Christianity, only men can be priests or elders. If we look in the Roman Catholic and Orthodox churches, bishops, presbyters, and deacons, only celibate males can hold high leadership posts such as pope, patriarch, and cardinal. Women can serve as abbesses and consecrated virgins. A number of major Protestant organizations are beginning to remove their traditional limits and allowing women to be ministers. However, other significant groups, most notably the Southern Baptist Convention, are strengthening their constraints in response. That's why only few women are prominent in Christianity. The most important one is Mother of Jesus, Mary, and one of Jesus's disciple Magdalene. Now, in Islam, a woman is a totally independent individual. She can enter into any contract or make a bequest in her own name. She is entitled to inherit in her roles as mother, wife, sister, and daughter. She has complete freedom to pick her husband. Muhammad's teachings were popular among both sexes, and by the time of his death, there were many female Islamic scholars. Muhammad's wives, notably Aisha, educated both men and women, and many of his followers learnt the Quran, Hadith, and Islamic jurisprudence, fiqh, from her. Because Islam considers that women are primarily spouses and mothers, the acquisition of education in subjects that complement these societal duties was given great emphasis. Even the first complete compiled copy of Quran was given to Hafsa bint Umar, who was the widow of Prophet Muhammad. In Islam, one woman is specifically mentioned and known as Khadija, was the first wife of Prophet. Khadija, known as the mother of the believers by Muslims, is one of the four ladies of heaven, along with Fatima, Asiya, the Pharaoh's wife, and Mary, Jesus' mother. The role of women in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam is a dynamic tapestry woven from sacred scriptures, historical interpretation, and contemporary reform. While the traditions vary, each faith has the seeds of female dignity, power, and spiritual worth. The path continues as Christians and intellectuals strive to reconcile religion, justice, and equality.